Alright, welcome everybody to another mixing video. Today we're going to be looking at part 2 of mixing a song start to finish. So last time we just basically did a little bit of preparation for the mix, a little bit of gain staging on a few tracks. We listened to the whole song and determined some things that need to be fixed later on in the mix, and we routed all of our channels to the groups that they need to be in and separated things accordingly. So today we're gonna go ahead and do some basic fader balancing as well as some panning. So enough of my yapping, let's go ahead and get started here.
तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी रांझा हूँ मैं तेरा तू ही रह जाना बस मेरी तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी सुबह की हसीन सी है धूप सी मैं शाम हूँ अंधेरी सी अधूरी सी तू सुबह की हसीन सी है धूप सी मैं शाम हूँ अंधेरी सी अधूरी सी तेरी हंसी जैसे है रोशनी मेरी प्यास है तू हर खुशी हर वक्त है इस दिल को बस तेरी कमी तू आस है मेरी प्यास है तू हर खुशी हर वक्त है इस दिल को बस तेरी कमी तेरी खुशी में है मेरी खुशी कर ले तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी रांझा हूँ मैं तेरा तू ही रह जाना बस मेरी तू बंदी मेरी कैपुचिनो मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी। सुबह की हसीन सी है धूप सी मैं शाम हूँ अंधेरी सी अधूरी सी सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी। तू सुबह की हसीन सी है धूप सी, मैं शाम हूँ अंधेरी सी अधूरी सी। तू सुबह की हसीन सी है धूप सी, मैं शाम हूँ अंधेरी सी अधूरी सी। तेरी हंसी जैसे है रोशनी बिखरी यहाँ है कहीं, तुझसे मिला मुझको ये आसमां, तुझसे मिली है ज़मीं। है रोशनी बिखरी यहाँ है कहीं, तुझसे मिला मुझको ये आसमां, तुझसे मिली है ज़मीं। मैं सहरा सहरा भटका, तू बारिश की है बूंद कोई। सहरा सहरा भटका, तू बारिश की है बूंद कोई। रांझा हूँ मैं तेरा, तू ही रह जाना बस मेरी। तू बन मेरी कैपुचिनो, मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी। तू बन मेरी कैपुचिनो, मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी। तू आस है मेरी प्यास है, तू हर खुशी हर वक्त है इस दिल को बस तेरी कमी। तू आस है मेरी प्यास है, तू हर खुशी हर वक्त है इस दिल को बस तेरी कमी। तेरी खुशी में है मेरी खुशी, कर ले तू मुझ पे यकीन। ये जिंदगी तेरी मेरे लिए, तेरे लिए आशिकी। तू मुझसे क्यों है रूठी, मैं तुझ बिन चैन न पाऊँ कहीं। तू मुझसे क्यों है रूठी, मैं तुझ बिन चैन न पाऊँ कहीं। रांझा हूँ मैं तेरा, तू ही रह जाना बस मेरी। तू बन मेरी कैपुचिनो, मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी। तू बन मेरी कैपुचिनो, मैं सस्ती वाली चाय तेरी।
Okay, so obviously that was really quick, and if I listen to this on my monitors, I might tweak these things just a little bit more, but overall I think that this is a fairly good balance. You could see for the most part the biggest dips I really did were like about 4.5 dB, and boosting, the most I did was about 2.5 dB. So real subtle things, but if you listen to this in comparison to what it started as, I think it's a big difference. Fader balancing as well as automation are probably your two biggest assets in mixing. I mean, that's the number one thing really, is having your volume balanced. And sometimes things like this arpeggiated synth, I keep it in the center where the vocal is, but I turn it way down so that way it's not necessarily something you hear very well, but it's just something that kind of thickens things up. And that's what I got from, that's the kind of vibe that I got from that track. So yeah, this guitar intro, I'm still a little bit iffy on the volume on that, but as you can see, as far as volume, things are pretty conservative. And for me, when I use panning, I use LCR panning. Very seldomly will I have something like 25% to the left or something like that, but I do that sometimes. But for the most part, for me, it's just right, left, or center. And let's just go over what I did. Hi-hat, I always like on the left, almost always like on the left. Toms, I like to give those some separation, so one on the left, one on the right. As far as the electric guitars, they're a little bit busy sometimes, so yeah, I like to spread those out. If they were both in the center, it'd be too busy. Actually, both of these tracks get really busy, so that's why I separate them that way. Same with this guitar intro. They sound really cool when they're stacked on top of each other, but I like to have it widen up a little bit. And yeah, other than that, everything else is in the center. The pianos, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it panned in the center, but what I'll probably do, as well as this arpeggiated synth, is I'll use Wave Center plugin and probably duck it out of the center a little bit and widen it up. And then the vocals, that'll be the primary thing in the center. So if you notice, in both the previous video and this one, I'm only doing a little bit, but I'm always thinking ahead of the finished track or product or whatever you want to call it. I'm always thinking at the end game rather than taking it step by step. And I think that's something you should always be doing. Of course, you're gonna make some decisions on the fly, but you should always keep in mind what you want your finished song to sound like. And another thing I want to point out is the stereo out is peaking at -2.6, but on average it's around -6, which is actually a really good level that you want to keep it at for sending to like a mastering engineer or whatever. I'm personally not going to send this song to a mastering engineer, but if I was, that would be a good level to send it to him at. I'm going to try and mix this to sort of a mastered type of sound, so that way at the end all I have to do is throw on a limiter of some sort and just bring the levels up. So yeah, this isn't going to be professionally mastered or anything like that, so yeah, the mix is gonna have to be as good as I can make it. So once again, this is sort of minimalistic in content, but as far as this entire series goes, this probably is the most important step right here. So I hope that you got a good idea of how I make my decisions in panning, as well as why I decide to turn a track down or to bump it up a little bit. In this track, I think that the bass, the drums, and the vocal are #1. There's some cool guitar stuff going on, cool piano stuff, but that is definitely not the focus. The focus is definitely the vocal and drums. But when you have drums, you have to have that bass too, right? I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. So definitely drums and vocals for sure, though. So that's something to also keep in mind. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around for next time. Next time I'm just gonna It's going to be a very short video next time. It's going to be me putting some analog modeling plugins on here, as well as my mix bus processing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you didn't like it, you can go ahead and give it a dislike. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, as I always say. If you really liked it, please subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.